And hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Breakaway, episode number 4. The Tampa Bay Juniors are back at home after spending last weekend in Atlanta. Both teams had a fantastic weekend and completed a weekend sweep over the Mad Hatters. Elite continued to oppose its will offensively. They scored 14 goals in their 2 games. On Saturday, Cooper Hunt led the way with 2 goals. 3 different players would also score their first goal of the year: Pranay Prasanna, Richard Pazant, and Philip Soule. Tyler Cullen also chipped in his 4th of the year. The depth of Tampa Bay came through in that one as their leading goal scorer, Bryson Uhrig, did not register a goal. He did pick up an assist, though. On Sunday, Elite beat down the Doors. An 8-1 victory over Atlanta. 12 separate players scored points, and 6 had multi-point nights, 2 or more. Uhrig had a goal and 2 assists and is now tied for 2nd in the league in goals and is tied for the 4th most points. Tyler Cullen and Evan Spinella were both named the Florida Division Players of the Week for Elite. As they continue to score, both goaltenders played well as Spinella stopped 27 of 29 on Saturday and Charles Garrett stopped 30 of 31 on Sunday. Now, the biggest detractors for Elite this year was the amount of penalties they took. They were shorthanded 12 times this weekend and killed off 11 of those 12. They end up being the 3rd most penalized team in the league this year. Premier was just as good. Saturday they jumped out to a quick 4-goal lead before giving up 2 consecutive, but would score a couple more and would shut the door down in the 3rd period, something they've struggled a bit with this year, but they were able to shut down the Blades. Now, that second game on Sunday was absolutely nuts. The first 4 goals of the game were all shorthanded, something that I've never seen in my time around the game. And then there was tons of penalties the rest of the way. Tampa Bay was able to kill off a long and arduous 5-on-3 opportunity to keep the game tied. And then Atlanta, on the flip side, after they had tied the game, took a minute 46 of a 5-on-3, where John Heller was eventually able to get the game winner past the Mad Hatters goalie, capped off with an empty netter by Connor Nelson. And now here to talk about it all with me, once again, head coach Garrett Strot. Wow, good evening, Garrett.
Right,
how are we doing this week?
Good. I did not realize our Elite team's the 3rd most penalized team in the league.
Yeah. We'll
have to work on that one.
No, we'll get to that.
I did not know that.
As we saw, Elite, they have the ability to blow the doors open. What do you like the most about their offense this year?
Well, that's just it. And we actually haven't even been fully healthy yet for the Elite team, but they got we just moved Tyler up from D to forward, and he's going to stay there because he gives us an offensive presence, and but we're going to have a lot of depth, just like the Premier team does, a lot of depth for scoring there. And like I said, we haven't even been healthy yet. So once everybody's healthy, it's going to be. I think it has a chance to be a really, really good team. Now, but we got to cut down the penalties. Yeah.
Now Cooper Hunt has been started to score with more regularity. What do you like about his game?
He's very smart with the puck. He knows where to go with it. He'd be a fun guy to play with because he moves it so well, and he's just a smart player.
Now let's talk.
A very unselfish player.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the goaltenders now. They don't get a lot of love all the time, but both Evan Spinella and Charles Garrett are both tied for 9th in the league with goals against average and are 13th and 11th respectively in save percentage. How important have they been to this fast start you guys have gotten off to this year?
They've been actually great. I mean, our goaltending is number one. I mean, you got to have good goaltending. It doesn't matter how good your team is. If your goaltending's struggling, then the whole team struggles. And so they both made saves that they can, the pick that picks the teams up, and they know that they're going to be in every single game because they allow us to be in every game and a chance to win it.
Now, here comes the question that you were waiting for. With Elite being the 3rd most penalized team in the league, are you concerned with their discipline at all?
Well, I didn't think it was that bad, but yeah, they might have to have a little talk and maybe a few skates and maybe a few benchings.
Not what you like to hear always, but now on to Premier. They had a really strong first game. Talk to us what you liked most about that performance on Saturday.
Just overall, again, we've been playing really good on our own end. Same thing with them. We've been getting strong goaltending. And, and we made some good offensively. We had some additions, and lines have been looking really good. And we're starting to move the puck better. We still got a ways to go, but it's going around pretty good.
Yeah, early on in the year, puck moving and passing can always be trouble. Guys getting used to each other. Newcomer Jonah Mortenson had a huge weekend with 6 points. Talk to about him and what he brings to the squad.
Yeah, right away he brings some size and some speed. He's playing high end games in Minnesota high school, one of the top teams in high school there. His dad and my brother and I go way back with his dad. Actually, his dad and my brother were line mates in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're actually one of the top. They were one of the top lines in high school. I'm sure his dad has told Jonah many times. But they were really good. They were fun to watch, and so we have a history there. And he was in the NA for a little bit and came down, and we got some stuff we're working on. And but no, he's a huge impact.
Now, Premier has had some trouble holding on to some big leagues, especially in the second and third period. What did they do differently that they were able to lock things down in Atlanta on Saturday?
That's a learning process. I mean, sometimes you get a lead, you kind of let up a little bit, and then that's the mental part of the game that we always talk about. So the guys have to, and I think we're doing. You can see already we're getting a little bit better each game with that, and being able to lock things down.
And now onto that second game was utter craziness. How hard was it to kind of keep focus with all that commotion going on with 5-on-3s, 5-on-4s, lots of penalties?
Well, it all started when all of our goalies missed the bus. That's when it all started. And so at the last minute, Evan Spinella, he wasn't dressing for elite, so I was able to make a transfer through the league and get him in there. So, it was kind of hectic there, but he came in, it was awesome, and made some big saves. But it was but to have first four goals of the game all shorthanded, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. I mean, they had 3 penalties, and we had 2 shorthand goals on 1 penalty. And then they took another penalty, we scored again shorthanded, then we take a penalty, they score shorthanded. It was crazy.
Yeah, I've never seen that in all my years in hockey. Now, we've got the Blades this Friday and Saturday again. It's the third time we played them, second time this month. How hard is it, or what's the focus like in the room? It's sometimes hard to get up for a team that you always have success against.
Well, it's been good games. So the lead team actually got smoked by them last week after we smoked them. So they know they're gonna have a tough game, and every game we've had with them, Premier, have been tight games. So we know it's gonna be a good competitive game. So even though we play them a lot beginning of the year, it's been good games to play with because they just like to play too. And go up and down. So it's been some good practice for us in these games and getting some good upbeat style of play.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Garrett, and we thank you for joining us again here on the Breakaway.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Christian.
Thank you. All right, we are going to take a short break here, and we'll join you with our 2 Premier players, Parker Chadwell and Jonah Mortenson. This is the Breakaway. And we're back here on the Breakaway with Jonah Mortenson, Parker Chadwell. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good. Well.
Doing well. You guys have a good skate today?
Yeah, solid skate. Get ready for the weekend.
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Well, we got the Blades coming up. What are you guys looking forward to most about playing them again?
I think playing the Blades throughout the year is going to show how far we've come as a team since we're new. And I think that'll just be a good indicator for us.
I don't know. I haven't really seen them play at all. It's only my second weekend, so I'm still kind of testing the waters, see how they are and whatnot.
So, Jonah, what was it like playing in the NAHL?
It was fun. I really liked it. It was good, high-end quality hockey. It's really tough. It's a really physical league. They're all about grinding, not as much skill. It was hard to stay in it, though. But, yeah, I really liked it. It's a good league.
Now, back to Chadwell. What's it like growing up here in Tampa?
I mean, just the usual. It's a nice area. It's filled with lots of stuff to do. So, I mean,
do you have a favorite part about living here, or is it like the beach, fishing, golfing year round?
I think it's more. I think I like the summers are really nice. I think having all people come down for summer because everyone travels and vacations here. So I think it's nice during that time.
Did you play travel down here?
Yeah.
Where'd you play?
I played down in Brandon for my life.
For what team?
The Brandon Junior Bulls.
Oh, okay. And how was that? What'd you enjoy about playing for them?
I mean, it was close to home, and like nice. I mean, it's kind of small because hockey's not like huge here, but it was a nice place to play.
Now, heading back to you, Jonah, you grew up in Minnesota. What's it like playing in Minnesota where hockey's so ingrained into the culture there?
I loved it, especially playing high school hockey. I mean, it's like, everyone goes to the games. It's just such a big environment. I mean, like when you're playing youth, all like the younger kids will all come to your games, and then going to public school before private school, you'd always go watch the varsity play. The whole town would come. It's just like, it's a really good environment surrounding for hockey.
So now we got a lot of Minnesota guys on the roster. Did you get a chance to play against any of them?
Not during the winter, because they played in the single A, because a lot of them played for smaller schools. But I played against Bo Cornier in the Minnesota High School Elite League last fall.
Who got the best of that matchup?
Yours truly.
Nice. Love to hear it. Now, you've been around the team for a long time. Tell us about how you kind of got into the juniors here.
My older brother played here for 4 consecutive years before I did. And so it was just kind of natural for me to keep going to further my career here after youth.
Keep the family line going. Now, I hear your nickname has something to do with that. Tell us about that.
Well, so my brother's nickname was Cheddar, like throughout his years, because he was a ginger, and our last name is Chadwell. And so whenever I joined the team, they called me Little Cheddar. And then once he left, I took on his nickname, and it's stuck ever since.
Do you like cheddar cheese? Just curious.
It's fine.
It's okay?
Yeah, it's nice.
All right. So, Jonah, you come in your first weekend, and you contribute right away. Walk us through what you kind of saw out there and how it felt to be a part of this new team.
I mean, I came in with pretty high expectations to come down here and get better, because, I mean, I had options on other places to play, but Garrett and Brett really emphasized like the training part of it and how nice the facilities are. So I kind of came in with that mentality just to work my butt off and play really hard. So I went into Atlanta with that mentality and just try to play as hard as I could and make hockey plays.
Now, did getting the chance to play right away kind of take some of the stress off of being in a new environment, being in a new city, moving down here at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I was just kind of fed up from moving around everywhere. I just wanted to get to it as fast as I could.
So, Parker, back to you. How'd you get started in hockey? Tampa's not the hockey mecca of the world. It's grown a lot over the years, but how did you get involved in hockey?
I think whenever my older brother got into it, and how I grew up, I was wanting to be like him and do what he does. So whenever he switched, I was like, I want to play too. And that's what got me going. So
was it did it start with him too, or was it like, did your parents have anything to do with that, or?
Well, I think our uncle got him in, started showing him games and stuff, and once he started going and learning how to skate, then I decided that I wanted to do it too, because it looked fun. So.
Now, Jonah, talk to us about your family up north. They're still living in Minnesota?
Oh yeah, everyone's in Minnesota. Only people who aren't in Minnesota is my both my sets of uncles that are moving around for hockey, but besides that, everyone's in Minnesota.
Now, is hockey kind of a family affair up there, or were you kind of the oddball out and wanted to do hockey seriously?
Oh, no. Both my uncles were former Minnesota Gophers, played in the AHL for a little while.
Oh, wow. What teams they play for?
I know one of them, my Uncle Travis, he made a show out with the Dallas Stars for a bit. Then my Uncle Todd, he's been in everywhere. I think he played on the AHL team for the San Jose Sharks. He's coaching right now, though, in the NHL.
That's right. He was an assistant for the Lightning, wasn't he, for a while?
Yeah, he actually won the Cup. He brought it to Minnesota last summer. I was able to see it for a little while.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. So hockey definitely runs deep in your bloodlines. Did you guys play any other sports growing up that might have kind of contributed? A lot of people talk about how different sports can kind of heighten your senses, give you better skill sets in a single sport. Parker?
Before I started playing hockey, I was into soccer, so I guess that kind of helps with the coordination and stuff like that.
Do you continue to play soccer? Do you watch soccer at all, or just a big player? Now I heard you play pickup basketball. Is there any other sports that you like to play?
Well, I played football, baseball until my sophomore year, but I kind of quit. Well, my dad made me quit football because he played college football, and he didn't want me to get hurt for hockey. And then I kind of quit baseball, focused a lot of my energy towards training for hockey, and then I also picked up Ultimate Frisbee, which was super fun.
Oh, Ultimate Frisbee's a good one.
Yeah.
You score a lot of I don't forget what they call that, touchdowns.
We call it touchdowns. I don't know exactly what it is.
So we'll kind of end on, one more thing. I want to get your kind of thoughts on the craziness that happened in Atlanta last week with that game with all the shorthanded goals. What was that like? Was it hard to stay focused with all that going on?
I mean, I thought it was pretty funny, but I mean, getting scored on shorthanded isn't really something that we want. But, you know, whenever we're scoring 3 goals shorthanded, and like all you can do is be hyped and celebrate.
Yeah, it's got to send your confidence to the roof. Any thoughts about the weekend in Atlanta?
It's just kind of bizarre. It's the only way really to put it. 4 shorthanded goals in a row. It's just kind of weird. We'll take it. Goal's a goal. You know, got to stay focused, but it was definitely weird.
And so now we can end on the funny one, like I always like to do. You might have a little tougher time, you just got here, but you've been around the organization a long time. If you had to pick one teammate that you had to live with for the rest of your life, who would it be?
Oh, man.
And why?
Probably Britt.
Britt.
Yeah,
okay, why is that?
Britt. I think we've gotten closer throughout the 2 years that we've played together, and we like a lot of the same stuff and do a bunch of the same things. So I think it would be like easier to.
Good click. Do you have anybody off the top of your head?
I'm definitely not saying Britt because I actually live with him at Saddlebrook, and I would not. I would from the aspect of actually living with someone, it would definitely be Blake Mons because he's not a total slob, and he actually picks up after himself.
Oh.
You cleaned the apartment one time.
We cleaned and it was spotless. Me and Mons, it was spotless.
You think he's a clean guy now? No, he's not.
Yes, he is a clean guy compared to the other guys.
Oh.
Britt sleeps 16 hours a day. He doesn't do anything.
Well, what about Wawa? You're in the same room with him.
He just talks to his girlfriend all day.
What's wrong with that? Quiet guy?
Nothing, I guess. I don't know. He sits there and just speaks Polish, so I never know what he's saying.
He's probably talking crap about you.
Well, yeah, because he knows I can't understand him.
And you gotta hate that, right? If people talking other languages, you don't know what they're.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, that was excellent, guys. That was awesome. Thanks for joining the show. And we're going to take another quick break and get a message from our sponsors in. And you're watching The Breakaway. And hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Breakaway. Joining me now are the 2 Florida Division Players of the Week for Elite, Tyler Cullen and Evan Spinella. How are you guys doing today?
Good, how about you?
Good. Now, Spinny, you got the chance to get called up for Premier. How exciting was that for you to get a chance to play with them?
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, it kind of felt like a movie for a while because I didn't really believe it at first. I mean, the chances are slim of every single goalie falling asleep and not waking up for the bus. So, I mean, it's just crazy.
Right. Now, that game was, again, we talked about it a lot, rather nuts. What was it like kind of being in the middle of all that?
I mean, it felt pretty similar to what I usually do. I mean, I followed my same routine and just played it the way I would play it at any level. So it just kind of worked out for me, just staying calm.
So, Tyler, same thing with you. You were named for the Florida Division Forward of the Week. Take us through what you saw in Atlanta that weekend.
First of all, I loved playing with my line this weekend because I got moved up from D to play center. I had a lot of fun playing with George and Bryson. And I saw a lot of hard work and dedication, and we put the puck in the back of the net, and that's all you can really ask for.
Now, how is that? What's the difference like jumping from forward to D or D to forward? How different is the game from that perspective? And again, that's a pretty good line to get put on too.
Yeah, I just feel more involved in the play. I think playing D is very important, but being up there and just being an option offensively it feels so great, and to be able to put it in, it feels even better.
Yeah, that's got to be a good feeling to kind of be in the play a lot. Spinella was talking about being a part of the play. You're part of a formidable goaltending team back there. You and Gallant are leaders in goals against and save percentage. Has anything changed about your game over the years? What has kind of been the development from moving up?
I mean, the biggest change is probably speed, I'd say, and just all the little details. A big change in my game is I noticed that most of the boards in the rinks that we go to would kick out rebounds if you're rimming it around, so I usually like to take a step, like 2 steps instead of 1 big step across if it's a big rim, and that's pretty much the biggest takeaway I have.
So Tyler, we talked a little earlier before the show. You said you started hockey at 10, which is a little late for most guys. What got you into hockey?
My dad at his job, he got offered some Lightning tickets. And he asked me if I wanted to go to the game. I was like, sure. At that time, I was probably playing like soccer or just some recreational sports, maybe some baseball. He took me to the game, and I was like, Dad, I want to play the sport. And I started playing roller hockey first for about a year, and then I transitioned to the ice, and then from there I started playing.
So do you remember what game it was?
No.
No. And then what's the difference like between roller and ice? When people hear that, they think it's the same thing, just on ice and on concrete, but they're really kind of 2 different games. Talk to us about the difference between the 2.
On rollerblades, you can't stop. That's not possible. I've heard many stories of my old teammates who went to rollerblade and tried to stop and just ate it. And other than that, I'd say the mechanics are the same. It's just the temperature change, and just skating on surface that isn't slippery is a lot different too. So those are the biggest differences.
And there's not as much physical play, right? Either
Right.
it's a lot of skill.
Yeah, they don't even. Well, I wore shoulder pads when we played, but usually when you see kids play in the league, they usually don't wear shoulder pads.
So now, I know you grew up here in Tampa. You didn't. You're a Long Island native. Tell us what it's like up there, living up there, and what hockey's like up there.
I mean, it's pretty similar, actually. Over the years, Tampa has really gained a lot of, hockey fans. So, I mean, the biggest difference is just going from cold weather to the warm weather. It's pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, you like the warm weather
Yeah.
better? Yeah. So you're an Islanders fan, right?
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to go to? Were you down here for when they played the Islanders? Or
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to go to any of the games?
No, I did not.
And how did it feel losing to Lightning 2 years in a row? Have to throw that in there.
I mean, I'm just surprised they even got that far, to be honest with
Really?
you. Yeah. It's been a tough few years, so.
I'm surprised because we always looked at the Islanders as like kind of our biggest test because of how well they played defensively.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting to hear. So you're the first goalie we've ever had on the show. Question for you, Tyler. A lot of people think that there's a stereotype that goaltenders are really weird. Is it true?
Nah, Spinny's the best.
Really?
I love Spinny.
Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with any of our goalies.
They're all pretty normal?
Nah. Yeah.
Because you got to be somewhat.
I mean, Brosky, but.
Because you got to be somewhat crazy to throw yourself in front of a rubber puck moving
Sure.
100 miles an hour.
Right.
So talk to us kind of about that different perspective. Have you played out at all?
Yeah, actually I did.
So what's the difference like from kind of sitting behind the play, getting to see the ice, in a long perspective as opposed to being on top of the play skating out?
I mean, other than just playing your own position, obviously you have to make a few passes out to your teammate, but it's not always like you're playing under a team, if that kind of makes sense. Like, you're not always part of the dynamic when it comes to the breakouts and all that. The biggest difference really is you're just not as physical. I mean, from the checks and stuff like that, and when you're in net, all you're really doing is saving the puck and keeping with the play and making sure you're focused, communicating.
Does playing out sometimes, or when you did play out, did it help you, with puck handling in and around the net?
Yeah, it definitely did, and also helped with skating a lot too.
Yeah, because I have heard the goaltenders have to be some of the best skaters on the team just because of their different range of motions. So, Evan, it's your third year with the team. Tyler, it's your second. Either one of you can answer first. What's been your favorite memory with TBJ to date?
You go. I got to think about it.
My favorite memory is actually probably Sunday. If I had to
Really?
be honest with you, yeah.
You didn't get very long to think about that, Tyler.
Nope. I'm going to go with something very generic. I mean, I think anytime we score, that always feels good to make a great play, tic-tac-toe plays. Every time we scored this weekend, it always felt great, I don't think you can replace that, so.
Yeah, I know I get excited when you guys score. Probably a little too excited sometimes. So, Spinella, talk to us about what you do outside of hockey.
Sometimes I like to play soccer, work out, and I like cars a lot.
Well, do you have a favorite car?
Oh, yeah, definitely a Hellcat Charger.
Okay, yeah, we talked a lot about Bryson and how Bryson loves his cars. Is there a favorite generation of cars you have? Because personally, I tend to go towards the more antique, 40s, 50s, 60s.
I like more the modern, like the newer cars. There's something about the technology that they possess. It's kind of crazy to think about how far we've come in, even the past few years actually. So it's kind of cool.
So now, based on your hat, we can kind of deduce that we have something in common. You're a big Star Wars guy.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about your favorite movie and just Star Wars as a whole. What do you like about it?
My favorite movie is Revenge of the Sith. I think it's just the best movie out of all 9. And I just love Star Wars. My dad is not a big Star Wars fan, but he's the one who introduced me to it. And back when Blockbuster was a thing, every Friday we would pick up a movie, and so we started watching one Star Wars movie every Friday until we finished it, and that was before the new trilogy came out. And then I've found some friends that also like Star Wars, and
I think Lewis is one of those guys, isn't he?
Well, this was when I was younger.
Oh, you younger? Okay.
It's great to talk to him about it now, but I think the infamous thing for any kid that loves Star Wars was getting the toy lightsabers and learning to twirl it like they did in the movies. That was like the thing.
I still have that fascination as an adult. I still want one. It sucks that they're like $700. You got to go online and pay for it. Talked about your favorite movie. Do you prefer chronological order or in the order they were made?
Chronological order. Yeah. In the way they were made, it makes sense. But I prefer to watch it from number 1 to number 9.
Well, and it's interesting too that Lucas said it was a chronological film set. They bought 4 first, and that's the one that they went with. So I could talk about this for hours. So we'll have to spend some time on it later. But now the funny question: who's the worst teammate to sit next to on the bus with?
Creighton.
Really? Why is that?
He doesn't smell the
We're
best.
taking shots at players now. Dang, I'm not that mean.
I mean, it doesn't have to be mean. It's just, if you had a preference, who would you rather not sit next to on the bus?
Rather not sit next to.
Or you could pick a guy that you would like to sit next to and why too.
I guess I wouldn't sit next to Bryson because he's always got his earbuds in. It's not very social, and he sits towards the front, so you don't get a lot to talk about with anybody in the back because everything that happens is usually towards the middle of the bus, and so.
That's interesting. Bryson Urich, not social. Yeah, that kid has got a motor in a mouth. My goodness, we love him. But Well, thank you guys very much for joining the Breakaway, and we will wrap it up here. The Tampa Bay Juniors take on the Florida Junior Blades this Friday and Saturday. Friday's games will take place at 5:30 and 8 p.m. on Hockey TV. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we bid you adieu.